What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Universal Crystals. Today I'm going to be giving you 5 signs that you're about to have a spiritual breakthrough. Now, the first sign that you're about to have a spiritual breakthrough may come as a surprise to some people, but if you've been on this path long enough, you've probably experienced this. And the first sign is things are going wrong. Maybe they're going more wrong than you could even possibly imagine, but at least seemingly going wrong. But as I get into this video, you know, I'll kind of reframe that belief system. But you know, everything that you try and do to get out of this state where you feel stuck doesn't seem to be working. You feel like you're actually going backwards on your spiritual journey. You're going backwards in your life situation. You're not happy with your current circumstances. You're having trouble being in the present moment. You feel like you never even had a spiritual awakening at all. Or maybe you haven't had a spiritual awakening and this is kind of your initiation. Things could not be going more wrong. And this is very common. This is actually something that weirdly, it's like when things are going bad, I know something good's going to happen. Not to say that you want you want your life to just be bad, so you're like, oh, well, something's good's on the way, look into the future. You've really just got to sit with it and be present in it and accept it, because it will teach you something. But that is the first sign. Things are going wrong. Normally very wrong. Which brings us to the second sign, which kind of relates to that, which is that you are having ego attacks or mind attacks. One of my most popular videos is about this. It's an old video, and essentially what this is kind of your mind or your ego, when you start to break away from it, when you start to not identify with it anymore, it has to find something to get you to believe in it again. So the ego's favorite way to do that is normally through feelings of guilt and shame, because you feel deeply identified with that shame, deeply identified with feeling guilty about something you did 5 years ago. It just happens to come up at this moment. And I find that happens a lot when you're about to have a spiritual breakthrough. You have those attacks because they are there to allow you to release that limiting belief system, to allow you to die to that ego. And a lot of people that have a spiritual awakening, it happens because they are so caught up in that ego, they're so identified with it that they can't take the suffering anymore. The only thing they can do is let it go. You know, end suffering by letting go of that attachment to those belief systems. So if you're having things come up, that is actually a good sign that you are leveling up spiritually. As weird as it is, you've probably found out by now, everything is backwards. Everything is a paradox. The things that we think are going to make us happy sometimes lead to the most unhappy feelings. Being super attached to something normally pushes it away. So it's kind of a weird thing we're doing here on Earth. I'll put it that way. So the third sign that you're about to have a spiritual breakthrough is something that happens to me almost every day, but specifically when right before something good happens, or I have one of those spiritual breakthrough moments, is synchronicity. Now, this could come in the form of numbers, angel numbers, repeating numbers, or it could just come in the form of, you know, even more crazy circumstances that seem like a coincidence, but you know it's not a coincidence because it keeps happening, or things just keep like almost aligning perfectly and you have no explanation for it. And you know, a lot of times for me, it's like a certain song comes on at a certain time where it's very like synchronistic, or you have a dream about somebody and then they text you the next day, or You know, it could really be anything. But an example that I've used in other videos is that I was one time listening to the song "Have You Ever Seen the Rain" by Creedence Clearwater Revival, CCR. And it was a sunny day, and in the song it says, "Have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day?" And it was not raining, it was sunny. It just randomly started raining in one spot on my car for like a few seconds right when that line came into the song, and then it stopped raining. But that was a very synchronistic experience. It was like, I have seen the rain coming down on a sunny day. But that's an example I like to use because it doesn't have to be numbers, which that happens a lot too. But just you're seeing a lot of synchronicity. You're seeing things line up in your life that are almost hinting at that breakthrough coming. It's like the universe and spirit guides, whatever you want to call it, God, kind of showing you there is a light at the end of the tunnel. The light is actually here right now. You just aren't able to perceive of it yet, but it's here. The next sign that you're about to have a spiritual breakthrough is that you are being forced, it feels like, to make a decision about what direction you want to go in. Now, this could come in many different forms. Maybe you are being forced with a decision to make a job change, to make a lifestyle change, to finally go for your passion. And you feel so fed up with the fact that you're not doing it that it seems like you are almost being forced in that direction because of the signs mentioned before. You feel stuck, you feel like everything's going wrong. But because all of those things are happening, you're being led into this direction, and you have to make a decision about which way you want to go. And that might cause some sacrifice. You know, doing YouTube, I've had to sacrifice, you know, certain aspects of my life, but I wasn't really comfortable in those situations. It might be scary to put yourself out there. It might be scary to do whatever it is you want to do, but ultimately you're going to be, you're at that path, you know, and it's breaking off into two different paths. Which one will you take? You know, like the old Robert Frost poem. Will you take the road less traveled? But you don't have, it's not really like the road less traveled. It's more just like you feel that you have to make a decision about what you want to do with your life and whatever situation it is. And it's all like all these years, all of these months, however long it's been where you felt stuck, it's all culminated in this one moment. And if you just make that choice, set that intention that you are going to go in this direction, which might be scary, but you're going to take the first step, it will pay off for you. And you know that it will pay off for you. You're just resisting. But all of that resistance is building up, and it's going to shoot you off like a rocket into the best life that you can possibly imagine. And that is when the breakthrough happens. You are literally breaking through. It's a spiritual breakthrough of something. So you have to have something to break through. You have to have something to break away from. And of course, everything can be found in the present moment, the peace of the present moment. But normally before a breakthrough, it doesn't feel like there's going to be a breakthrough. And that is a good sign that you're going to have a breakthrough. It's like, things could not be going more wrong. You have to make a decision. You're terrified of making this decision, but I trust that you will make the right one if you listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, because that is your greatest power. Which brings us to the last sign, which has to do with your intuition. This whole time, while all of these things have been going on, maybe from a mind standpoint, you don't feel this way, but deep down in your heart, within your intuition, you know that things are going to work out. This whole time, you've kind of had this inner knowing that this is happening for a better reason. This is actually going to help you. And as someone who's kind of had a spiritual breakthrough recently, which is actually culminated in this video, you know, I went through a lot of internal pressure. I went through a lot of things that were, you know, it all just kind of came to a head at one point. Kind of in my YouTube live, which is no longer on YouTube anymore. If you were there, you know what happened. That was not my proudest moment. But I've got to accept that. I've got to live with that. I've got to embrace that. You know, I'm not perfect. Deep down within, we all are perfect, but my human body, my ego, it still gets in the way sometimes. It still, it still spouts off. But I had felt stuck. I had felt bottled in, and you know, it's like you're shaking up a champagne bottle, and then you finally take the top off, and it all pops out. That's what's happening to you right now. Everything is culminating, and you know that deep down. This video might just serve as a reminder to you that you're probably about to have a breakthrough. And don't get attached to the idea of, oh, I'm about to have this breakthrough. When's the breakthrough coming? You know, everything's going wrong. Something must be able to, something's going to fix it. But you have to accept where you are, but also become aware of the limiting beliefs that are coming up during this time. This is normally a time of learning. You know, having those ego attacks, having your limiting beliefs revealed to you will allow you to become aware of them and then let them go. Because unless you're aware of something, you can't let it go. And most people are living in autopilot, completely unconscious of these things. And, you know, me included. It's just certain things, certain little things might pop up, you know. It's new levels all the time of things that you're becoming aware of and then letting go that might resurface. And you've got to become aware of that deeper layer of it and then let it go. In a way, I guess you could call that shadow work. But what you're going through right now is meant to happen, and you do know that deep down. Things are working out for you, although it may not seem that way. And again, don't get attached to the idea that you have to have this breakthrough, and if it doesn't come now, it's never going to come. Accept where you are, but also take action. You know, if I didn't make this video, or if I didn't finally get up and get myself out of the rut that I was in, I wouldn't have had a breakthrough. But I knew that it wasn't the right time. You will know, like when I was deep in it, I knew it didn't feel right. But don't just say it's not the right time if you do feel it is the right time. If you feel like you need to push yourself a little bit, face your fear, face whatever it is, then go for it. But if you're just trying to force it, it's just gonna, you know, you'll know. Again, just trust your intuition. But I would like to say, shout out to Balin Levine. He's a YouTuber, not really related content to mine at all. Some of you might know him, but go watch his channel if you want to have a good laugh, if that's your type of humor. Not everybody may find it as funny as I do. At first glance, his content might seem a little bit like crazy, but he really does spread a positive message, and he's like a really humble guy for how much success he has, and he inspires me to, like, I was watching one of his videos and I was just like, man, this is so cool. Like, I'd love to be doing something like that. And then I was like, oh wait, I have a YouTube channel too. Why don't I just go out and make a video? So Balin, you actually helped me have this breakthrough. I appreciate you. Shout out to Balin Levine. But yeah, guys, we have the free Moldavite giveaway in the description. And if you say watch this video down the road and you think it might be over, I will be using the same link for the future Moldavite giveaway. So when this one ends, which it's ending soon, that link will still, it'll just add you into a different list of new people where you can have, like, I'll set up a different link. It'll be the same link, but it'll be like a different little thing to where you'll be entered into the next giveaway. So this link will work forever for all future Moldavite giveaways, because I will be going into a new one after the other. We're just going to be doing Moldavite giveaways all the time, every few months. But I've also got the free higher self meditation. And yeah, guys, just know everything's going to work out. It's a beautiful day. It's crazy what can happen when you finally just let yourself be, when you finally just let yourself experience life and accept where you are, know yourself as pure consciousness. If you want to know the signs that you are going through a spiritual awakening, which many of you probably are, and you want some confirmation, click the video that's going to be up on the screen. And as always, I love you all. Universal crystals forever.